Hi, this is Micornus, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. Today, I just want to deal with some factors or some things for pastors to consider before opening a branch. I want to speak to pastors that are planning to open church branches, and therefore, I want to just speak about what are the things to be considered basically before you open a branch, because it is exciting. Suggestion to open a branch. It is something that many pastors actually get overwhelmed with excitement to say, I'm going to have another branch of the church and I want to open many branches out there. But it's very important to consider some things before you open a branch. And that's what we want to speak about today. Now, the first thing that I want to just highlight when you want to open a branch as a pastor, you must make sure that the mother church is fully established in all aspects, because there are times when somebody rushes into opening a branch while the church or the main church is not well established at all. And sometimes when we speak about establishment of the mother church or the main church, we're speaking about structures in that church. So including administrative structures. Of course, we're talking about the leadership structures, whereby are you having a leadership structure that is stable? That's number one that you look at. Now, if your leadership, you say it is stable, you must look at departmental leaders as well. Are you having structures like departments that are functioning properly and that are having leadership that is matured enough to be able to manage those departments? Yes, that's another thing that you look at. But also, there are times when I've seen in the past whereby pastors rush into opening branches, while the very same mother church, which is the main church, doesn't even have a building, doesn't even have its own land, and they are renting in a place, but yet you rush into opening a church branch. And sometimes you find that this church is fellowshipping in a temporary structure, like a tent, for instance, and yet you rushing to open branches. Now, these are the things that you need to look at as a pastor, not to rush to open a branch while the mother church is not structured enough. And remember also that opening a branch, it will need resources, which will be the instruments that you're going to use there. It will be the finances that you need to open up that branch. And also to run that branch is actually financially taxing. So this is very important that one looks into that and say, how stable are we financially? How stable are we with leadership structures? How stable are we with every department structure or administration that will help us to actually open this branch seamlessly without any problem? And this is very important, because if you rush to open up a branch while you're not ready, it is going to crumble and fall. And if it crumbles and falls, what it does, it actually discourages you as a founder. And also it may discourage your members as well. And that's very important that you look into that. The second thing that I want to mention that you need to consider before opening a branch as a pastor is make sure you got capacity to handle the additional church. Because this is exactly speaking to the same leadership structures as well. Because if you don't have proper structures of leadership, people that could be able to be divided to go and manage the new baby, which is the new branch, and you don't have people like that. You don't have enough capacity in leadership of people that would be co-opted into the branch to be able to run the branch. You might actually be committing suicide here. And that is very important, because the vision that you have, as much as it is global, it is actually national, it is actually a vision that needs to be spread, but you need to be able to assess the situation and come up to a time where you know that the timing of opening branches is now, because you've got capacity. So therefore you need to have capacity, which includes the people or human resources that will be able to be divided to go there and open up a branch. If you've got the capacity of, say, worshippers, for instance, that you would actually send others to go and take care of the branch while you're still building, that's very important that you do that. But it is very important that you look at the consideration of capacity. So check the capacity if you've got capacity, because many times we have seen also pastors that will open up branches, But yet, on the very same Sunday morning, they will actually drive around about 4 or 5 places and ministering in all those places because they don't have capacity. And they will tell you, I'll start a service in the morning at such and such branch and move to the other branch. And also, by the end of the day, you would have actually preached in 5 different places. And that is not actually advisable, because that shows that you don't have capacity. This is very important, Pastor, that you regard the issue of capacity as very important. And you start to look at, do you have a capacity before you open a branch? Because if you rush, you may actually be destroying the church itself, or also you overstretching yourself, you're exhausting yourself, and you may find ministry very, very difficult. At the end of the day, we have seen pastors that quit and resign or leave the vision and quit completely the gospel because they have actually overstretched themselves without capacity. This is very important that we highlight. The other thing that I would love to bring along that you need to take cognizance of is make sure there is somebody ready to handle the branch. We're speaking about a leader that will handle the branch. We're speaking about somebody who will be able to minister there. We're speaking about somebody who will be able to manage the branch in the sense of being a leader there. Somebody that you as a visionary, you could trust leading the branch there and taking care of the branch under your supervision. And making sure that the person you trust, because many times also we have actually seen branches that started with somebody that you are actually co-opting to look after a branch. But after a while, that branch is turned into a totally different ministry because you have put somebody who could not submit. You put somebody who's not trustworthy. You put somebody who is not humble enough. Somebody who hijacks the very same branch and turns it into his own or her own ministry. And we've seen that happening. So therefore, it needs that you assess properly, that you've got somebody that you can trust, somebody who could actually look after that branch there, somebody who is having capacity as well to handle the branch, somebody who's actually learned enough to understand the ministry and be able to know the in and outs of ministry so that they can run the ministry without you. So this is very important that we emphasize as well. Otherwise, then you are actually committing suicide here. Now, I want to also say, very important for the visionary to give full attention to the mother church. Because as much as you've got a branch, you cannot be able to share your attention. And you cannot actually share how you look after this, because a branch will actually be undermined in a way, even though you are actually trying to balance the attention. There's no possibility of balancing the attention. And as a result, as Church Governance Solutions, we recommend that you take care of the mother church. You make sure that the main church is well taken care of, because we have seen several times whereby a pastor opens a branch, start focusing on the branch and neglecting the main church. And as a result, that the whole main church as well crumbles and falls because there is no attention upon it anymore. Now the branch becomes actually the one that takes precedence, is the one that is being taken care of, and the focus of the pastor now, or the visionary, is on the new church with excitement of new members, and therefore neglecting the main church. We have seen that happening in the past. But I want to emphasize, as Church Governance Solutions, we recommend that you continue giving attention to the main church, because that's the one that's the basis of the new branch. That's very important then, that the church or the main church becomes strong and the attention be given to it as well. Very important that you do so. You need to ensure that the branch function never cripple the function of the main church, because that's the same point that we're emphasizing, that even though you may actually co-opt some musicians into the new church, which is the branch, but make sure that you don't cripple the main church. If you are having people that have to assist, whether they are ushers or even the ministers that are ministering in the branch, don't compromise the main church. Because the main church is very important, because that's the basis and that's the foundation. And if it functions well, if it functions well, it is definitely going to actually make the branch to fly as well. And that is why we cannot ignore the fact that the main church needs to be nourished, to be made sure that it is strong at all times and the attention is given to it. So please, as much as you want to make sure that The branch grows, the branch is nourished, the branch is progressing as well. But don't actually neglect the main church, and don't actually cripple the function of the main church because of the branch. That's very important that we emphasize that as well. Now, I want to also mention that you need to amend your constitution to include the branch, because many times we would have actually had a constitution that speaks to the main church. Now, when you've got a branch, then you need to make sure that the constitution embraces the branch as well. Because this is very important, that when you continue going forward, when you don't include the branch will be outside the main vision, because the constitution would not be embracing it. And that is the reason why we emphasize that re-look at your constitution when you've got the branch. If you've got more branches, re-look at your constitution as well, because that's very important that the branches get embraced by the constitution, so that it becomes clear of what will happen. For instance, if the branch is not there anymore. So that must be clear, and we must know what happens as well with it. And that's very important that we emphasize that. Also, assign a leader proven to be trustworthy to lead the branch, as many have easily hijacked the branches and made them their own churches. And I cannot emphasize this enough. I've mentioned it a bit earlier, that if you are putting somebody who's not trustworthy, somebody who feels they are better than you, somebody who feels like they are too ambitious and they want to open their own ministries, this may be a platform that will be hijacked. This may be a platform that will actually launch someone's ministry who's lazy to open up their own church on their own. And you might have actually put them at a platform whereby they will hijack this particular branch and use it as theirs. So be careful, whoever you send to look after a branch then. I want to end up here today, your host, Micornus Phokane, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. Thanks very much for listening to us and be part of this great topic. We will embark on another topic tomorrow. But before I check out, I want to remind you that we've got this YouTube channel, Church Governance Solutions, this YouTube channel, Micornus Phokane. Look at Young Men Empowerment Forum as well. These are platforms that are going to help you as you subscribe to them. Like our Facebook page, Micornus Phokane, Church Governance Solutions. And don't forget the TikTok account as well. The good Lord will bless you as you continue actually following us on those platforms. We've got a lot of materials that were posted in the past that might be useful for you and your church. And I hope that you will follow us there. Don't forget to click notification buttons in all those platforms, because as much as we post these materials, they will actually warn you that we have got a new video, and you'll be able to follow us right on that platform. Allow me to check out right here and say cheers for now.